live stream?
Oh, that's going to go to a private channel, so don't worry about that. This is not going to go anywhere. It's going to go to Mana TV, and then it's going to get edited into an episode later. So don't worry.
Great, fantastic. Okay, brilliant.
And just shift yourself a little bit so you're in the middle of your camera. You're in the middle of the screen.
Okay, like this.
Yep. And then if you can just move the screen down a bit. See where my headroom is, kind of where I'm set.
This.
Yeah. So that kind of you're in the middle of your screen. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so just get that looking. Who would have thought my hair goes wild now? Okay, that's a bit
Mine
more.
always has done. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm waiting for you to come to London so we can hang out.
I can't wait. So I'm coming next week, as you know. All being well, just so that there's no issues, hopefully, with, because I have to get all these tests done before traveling and all the rest of it. So hopefully all being well, then I'll see you, and I can't wait for that. So it'd be cool.
Great, look forward to it.
Amazing. All right, so the streaming has started. Let me just go over the lay of the land. So this is done from Mana TV International, which is based out of Hyderabad, but they have an international presence. So they're streaming it to their private channel. It's going to be taken and edited into an episode. They're going to then air it on all of their channel sort of outlooks. They have a TV channel. They have Yup TV platform. They have their own YouTube, Facebook. We have our YouTube as well, so on there, and it will kind of go out. And it's just going to be literally showcasing your journey. The whole point of the Uma show is to showcase other inspirational South Asian role models who have literally broken through that glass ceiling in some way or other, and you are that person. So,
if I say something stupid or something, you can cut it out, right? Like,
yeah, we'll let's just keep going with the flow. If there's something that you said and you think, oh gosh, can we stop? Let's pause, and I'll just re-ask you that question. It'll be easier for editing purposes.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, so then if you think, then we'll just pause and take your deep breath, and we'll just literally.
Yeah, because I'm just worried about the bell going, like there may be like a delivery or something. So
yeah, I mean, if it's like, I always say put the do not disturb on your phone or something, so it doesn't kind of go off.
Yeah, the phone will be off, but it's just like if there's an Amazon package, like market orders like crazy.
Yeah, no, get it. I totally get it. Cool. No worries about that. Okay. So we'll go into it. I mean, like I sent the questions yesterday, but let's keep it conversational. So, try not to give it away that you saw the questions. So sort of, just that's to help you structure when to kind of respond on which parts of it.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So I'm just going to count down and we're going to go for it. Excellent. Okay. And also, because you don't look at me, look at the camera lens.
Like that?
Yeah, that's better. So you may not see me, but that's fine, because so if I look at you, then I'm looking here. But can you see if I look at my camera, I'm looking not at you, but I'm looking at you, if that makes sense.
Okay, so tell me, I'm going to do two things and tell me which one you prefer. Okay, ready? This or this?
Okay, do the first one again. And second one? Second one.
Okay. So looking right.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Okay.
Let's go for it. Okay, in 3, 2, and 1. Hi, everyone. I'm Rita Kakati Shah, your host for The Uma Show. Welcome to your one-stop journey for feeling empowered. We're a platform for change. We build confidence. We are your voice. We want you to be bold, be you, be Uma. Today, we're exploring women and business, and I'm so excited to be joined by my goddess of go-getting. Sorry, we'll do that again. Hey, Sharon, we've already started filming.
Oh, you're recording it?
We've already recording, yeah.
Okay. Good. Carry on.
Lalesh started it. Thank you, Sharon.
Oh, good. Okay, I just came. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. So that's Sharon from a US office. Anyway, so I'm going to read that again. Do that again. So there we go. Things happen. So don't worry about a doorbell. Things happen. Okay. In 3, 2, and 1. Hi, everyone. I'm Rita Kakati Shah, your host for The Uma Show. Welcome to your one-stop journey for feeling empowered. We're a platform for change. We build confidence. We are your voice. Today, we're exploring women in business, and I'm so excited to be joined by our goddess of go-getting, Farzana Baduel, who is joining us from London, and she is the CEO of Curzon PR. Welcome, Farzana. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Rita.
It's so lovely to see you. And a disclaimer for everyone, Farzana and I actually know each other for many years. We actually went to school together. So I'm very excited to be here with Farzana today in particular. So On that note, Farzana, talk to us about your heritage, your childhood, and how you grew up.
Sure. So my parents, they came to London in the 70s from Pakistan, from Kashmir, and I was born in the 70s, and I was brought up in London. And growing up was quite hard, I would say, because you're growing up as a second generation immigrant in a predominantly white neighborhood, and it was quite difficult because you always felt a bit of an outsider. And you felt, that you didn't necessarily belong. And it took sort of many years for me to sort of, grow into myself and understand that actually, it's my, my diversity that's actually my strength. Whereas when I was young, I just wanted to fit in and be like everybody else. And then I grew up, and my childhood, I would say, I was obsessed with music. I wanted to be a backup dancer. With my parents, that wasn't even an option. It was like medicine, accounting, law. I kind of felt as if fun careers were for other people, not for brown girls.
Little did you know. So one on the back of that, actually, because I know obviously education is a very strong point for South Asian parents. I know your parents, like anybody else as well, push that. So talk to us about your educational background as well and your journey there.
Sure. So I'd say that I was quite academic and growing up, and also my parents put a huge emphasis upon education, and it was again a very sort of typical from the South Asian community growing up in the UK. Education was really seen as a way into getting better jobs, getting into the professions, and so forth. And so I did quite well at school, and I got an assisted place, which is like a scholarship to go to a private school. And then I didn't do very well in my sort of my A-level exams, and as a result, I then went to university. But then I left after my second year. I didn't finish my degree, and I went straight into setting up a business. And it always haunted me because actually I think education is incredibly important. It's important to get your degrees, important to study hard, get your grades. And so I went out there, and actually what I did is when I was running my businesses, I was always very conscious of the need to continue my education, even after it was interrupted. And so what I always did is I always did continual professional development. I did many courses, qualifications, and I believe in continuous learning, that education doesn't stop when you finish your degree, but it should be lifelong. And actually now going full circle, I'm actually teaching at a university. So it's quite interesting that I sort of had my education interrupted, but yet have gone back to actually academia through teaching part-time.
Yeah, I love how you share your journey, because in most cases, people do think education is the basis for your future, whether it's a career, whether it's entrepreneurship, or whatever discipline you go into. You, on the other hand, have shown that actually, you know what it is? I might have changed or transitioned out of my actual official degree, but I learned in a different way. I had to start my businesses for, whatever reason. And I went in there, and you became an entrepreneur and very successful around the world in doing what you're doing in a not so traditional path, showing that, if you've got the will, you've got the way, the passion, you can still succeed. And to your point, Farzana, you've done so many courses on that as well. And part of that and part of your journey actually took you into politics, where you're quite actually active on the political front. So one of the positions that you served as the vice chair of business relations for the UK Conservative Party as an example. Tell us a little bit about that journey and what your role entailed.
So after, when I left university, it was to set up a tax business, and it did very well. And I ran it for a number of years. And then what happened was that there was a legislative change which impacted my business negatively. And I was very upset about it. And I didn't see it coming because I never really followed politics. And then when it impacted my livelihood, I then thought, right, I'm going to get involved in politics. I'm going to know what's happening in the political world, so that I know what changes are coming, what sort of regulatory changes are coming in the pipeline, what the political sentiment is. And so because it really did impact my business. And so I what I did is I joined the political party, the Conservative Party, which at the time was in opposition. And I had the most incredible experience because I met incredible people from all over the world, who had based themselves in the UK. It was very international, actually, because I was working in a business forum and my focus was international trade. So I got to really get to know people from all the embassies and high commissions, understand the nuances of bilateral trade as well as the foreign direct investment. And I also worked, in fundraising for a while. And I think the Conservative Party really taught me an awful lot about public relations. It taught me about perceptions and reality. It taught me about relationships. And I say that I'd learned my craft of public relations at the Conservative Party, and I met incredibly supportive people and great friends that that I still have great relationships with today. So my sort of ethos is very much, get out there, meet people from outside your circle, volunteer for organizations, be it charity or religious organizations or political organizations, because actually it just really broadens your network. I mean, you broaden your network, you broaden your opportunities and the exposure that you have. And if it wasn't for working in the Conservative Party, I would never have discovered public relations. And I genuinely feel that public relations is my purpose in life. And how sad for those people who never discover what their purpose is, because they don't really go out there in the world and discover new disciplines.
Yeah, that's so well said, because to your point, you had a passion, you had an issue that you thought, okay, I want to solve this in my own tax consulting practice. So you did something and you wanted to find out. That led you into meeting people, networking, relationship building, and then you kind of found your calling, public relations. So that's really great how you share that, because to your point, if you don't go out there, if you don't take those risks and go into the areas that you don't know anything about, how do you do that? So now talking about public relations, where you are, talk to us about Curzon PR and what exactly does your practice do?
So what happened is after I, learning about public relations in the Conservative Party, I realized that, this area is what absolutely fascinated me, because it was really a nexus of disciplines and a confluence of psychology, media, marketing, neuroscience, behavioral science, data science. And I thought, my God, this is so fascinating. And obviously a far cry from doing tax returns. And so what I did is, at the time I was on the board of the committee for the Institute of Directors, and one of my fellow members was actually a PR person. So I asked him, should we set up the business together? And he said yes. And then we set up Curzon PR. And he left after 2 years because he was headhunted for tech. And but he was incredibly kind and generous with his knowledge, and he taught me an awful lot about public relations. And so I embarked upon the journey of having a business in public relations. It was incredibly hard. So many people said, "My God, why do you continue doing it? It's so hard. You're working so hard, such long hours, and you're hardly making any money, and and it's kind of zigzagging. Like sometimes it's great, sometimes it's really bad." But what really sustained me was just my passion and my belief that this was my purpose. And I'm so glad that I sustained, because actually it was very hard for the first 8 years, and I've now been in it for 11 years, and it's really taken off the last few years. And I've had an incredible journey. We had an office, in Dubai, an office in New York. Now we've got rid of the offices, and now we're completely virtual. We have had the most incredible clients. We've worked with about, I'd say, 18 governments around the world. Multinational corporates, arts and culture, Oscar winners. We've had the most fascinating array of clients. I'm super grateful for the clients who have believed in us, and also I've been really lucky to work with incredibly talented people, from graphic designers to journalists to sort of videographers. It's a really creative discipline, and it's sort of creativity married in with commerciality and strategy. So it's really fascinating, and it's something that I would like to continue doing until I'm off this world.
Yeah, well, your passion comes through, that's for sure. So you did mention when we talked about your education that it went full circle because you now also teach. So you are actually the resident public relations expert and ambassador at the Oxford Foundry, which is the University of Oxford Entrepreneurship Institute. So talk to us about your work there and what exactly that entails.
So I was so probably about 9 years ago, I was invited by King's College to give a lecture on public relations. And over the years, I've given lectures and talks on public relations at various universities, as well as the Chartered Institute of Public Relations, which is our industry body here. And I always enjoyed giving lectures and talks because I'm super passionate about what I do. And then what happened is I was then and then I was approached by the Oxford Foundry because it was launched by Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, and they wanted to have a number of experts. And so they asked me, would you like to be the public relations expert? And the director of the Oxford Foundry was actually a lady who was running the King's Entrepreneurship Centre. So when she was headhunted by Oxford, she then brought me in. And I've been working and have been teaching there for a number of years. It is incredibly inspiring because you meet the brightest of the brightest students, and they are working across diverse areas, from biotech to fintech to edtech, and they all are very purpose-driven. And and what's quite interesting about the Oxford Foundry is that these people aren't just incredibly entrepreneurial in terms of profit and commercial value, but they balance profit with people and planet. So they have this very strong ESG lens, and it's just wonderful to witness this generation, Gen Z, and to witness how their idea of running a business is not just the bottom line, it's not just profits, it's not just for shareholder benefit. They really look at other stakeholders. And they really are purpose-driven, and I find it incredibly hopeful for the future.
Yeah, that's so well said, and the work you're doing there is incredible. And I love how you mentioned the whole King's College connection there, because I went to King's College as well, so I'm quite closely related or involved with the Entrepreneurial Institute there. So love that connection. So you also give back a lot, and you do a lot of volunteer work and work amongst so many charities across the UK in particular. Talk to us about your role as a trustee of the British Asian Trust.
So I always believe the importance in giving back, and it's just because I believe in my life. I've had challenges, especially in my childhood and with my family, but I have been very fortunate to witness exceptional kindness from people, from friends. Rita, your parents were like parents to me. And some of our other friends at school, and I've never lost hope in humanity, because I've always actually come across incredible people who went out their way to help without any thought of anything in return. And so I always felt that if I've been touched by kindness from strangers, from people who aren't my blood, from people who are from different cultures and religions and different countries and and different socioeconomic groups, I felt actually it's my duty to pass that kindness on. And I don't think I'm like a Mother Teresa or anything like that. But I think I'm conscious of kindness, and I try as much as possible. I feel there's so much more that I can do and I should do. But I've been very fortunate because I was approached by the British Asian Trust, and they are a charity that was established by His Royal Highness Prince Charles to support communities in South Asia, in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and they work across conservation. They do a lot of work with with elephants in South India, for instance, and also the economic empowerment of women, and also human trafficking. And they have the most sort of wonderful projects across the region, and they're very well known for their governance and transparency. And so I was very honoured to be approached by them earlier this year, and so I joined there as a trustee. And I've really, it's my first real exposure to a charity in South Asia. I was previously on the UK board for Care Pakistan, the largest education NGO, and I think this, when you get involved with charitable organisations, you realise how privileged you really are. And it makes me sometimes feel ashamed that I get so worked up over something so small, like, oh my God, this press release went out with a typo. And then realize about the stories and the lives of people who are really genuinely suffering, and they, and they're just trying to get the basics of, food, water, education, security, safety, from abusers, and then it puts your sort of little, issues in your life into perspective, and it sort of also gives you just, and it just feels incredibly good to be doing something that helps people, and and I think in life, for my well-being, I want to go and pursue things, in terms of my career and my family and my friends I want to spend time with. But I think it also makes me feel good about myself, and that I feel that if I can give back in whatever capacity, I feel it's a life well lived.
That's incredible, what you described and what you said. And I think everybody can resonate with the messaging there.
Could you give me 1 minute? Is that bloody door?
No problem. We'll pause there.
Okay. Sorry, darling.
No worries. I'm just going to continue my thought, and then we'll go into the next thing. So,
Daddy. Sorry, it's my dog.
oh,
Chill out.
sounds like mine. Oh my gosh, sounds like my Ruffles. It's the same voice. Oh,
I put him in another room.
it's okay for a bit. I mean, is he gonna make a bit of a noise?
Yeah, he's going away now. He's going away. He's just been snipped.
He's had his. How old is he, by the way?
He's 9.5 months.
When's
And
his birthday? When's his birthday? When's his birthday?
18th of October.
Oh, October 13th is Ruffles. Oh my god! When you said 9.5 months, they're like the same age. Wow.
They're so cute. You're going to get your one snipped as well.
He got snipped when we got him, so they snipped him early. So, but anyway, before I get distracted, let's
Okay.
let me finish this on this. We're talking about charities. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that you just answered, and I'm going to go into that and then go to the next question.
Let me just put him in the other room because he's
okay.
Yeah, because he's gonna. Daddy, can you please go over here? Okay, and just be quiet. Oh, you want to do? He wants me to take him out for a walk. He's really manipulative.
Does he still have accidents, or is he getting better with that?
No, nothing. Like he stopped having accidents at about 3 or 4. At about 4 months, he stopped having accidents. He was terrible for the first month, and then he stopped.
Yeah, Alice gets a little, if he gets too excited with the kids, then sometimes it can be an act, but not for, no, I would say, yeah, it's been a good couple of months now, but touch wood, don't want to jinx it.
Right, okay,
over to you. Anyway, before I get distracted, let me carry on, okay. That's really important, the work that you're doing, Farzana, and I love how you talk about, sharing what you're doing for the trust and giving back, because to your point, oh, Farzana, I think you've gone. Farzana, come back. So then this is happening over there and whatnot. So okay, you're back.
I'm so sorry, Rita. It's my iPad.
Don't worry, it happens. Okay, we don't have much time now. So, can you see me okay? It looks like I've frozen. Can you see me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. It's frozen from my side. So I just want to make sure it doesn't record like that. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to turn my video off and on again. Actually, no, that seems to be okay now. All right. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to finish off the thought there and then we'll go into the next question. Cool? All right. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing, Farzana, what you do for charity, what you do for the British Asian Trust, because it's such important work. And to your point, we all have daily activities going on. We all think about ourselves and our lives without thinking, actually, what is there in the greater world? What is going on and affecting other people's lives? So thank you for actually calling that out and making us all think about it out there. So in the work that you do, you're also a frequent media contributor and you've won many awards for the work that you do. What's next on the horizon for you?
Well, what I'm working on at the moment is I'm the company Curzon. We're one of the founding sponsors of a not-for-profit organization called Socially Mobile, and it's an edtech platform, and it basically has the sort of leading PR people and they and lecturers in essence, and they give classes on strategy and PR and so forth in order to help people from disadvantaged backgrounds to access courses for free. And so at the moment, we're just working on creating the content for Socially Mobile, because I'll be giving lectures on, on leadership and culture. And it is very exciting because I believe obviously in education, and now what's happened because of COVID, a lot of sort of teaching has moved online. And so I'm working with Socially Mobile on creating that content, and then separately also with the Oxford Foundry working on creating video components to support the public relations and strategy teaching, because before I used to go in person to Oxford, and now what we're trying to do is create some video content, because Oxford's the Foundry is very keen to ensure that not just the cohorts benefit, but also a wider audience can benefit from the teaching.
Absolutely, and great idea. It's like keeping with the times, but it's really actually what's needed there today as well. So that sounds amazing. All the best for that project that you're working on. So you seem to always be working and on different projects everywhere at the same time. What do you do to relax?
I think I don't relax enough, and I think that's probably a bit of a weakness. I'm constantly on the go, and sometimes that's not a really good thing because it can impair your decision making. And what I've realized is actually when I'm well rested, my sort of strategic thinking and critical analysis is much better. And so what I try and do is I try and build time in. So I tend to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, and then I take my lovely dog, Dante, for a walk in Hyde Park from 7 in the morning till 9. And those 2 hours that I'm in the park, I walk with him, and I also take calls from my internal colleagues who are based in India because of the time zone. And so,
Looks like you've gone again, Farzana. Don't stop the recording. Carry on. We're still filming. Keep going. Keep the stream going, Lalish. Don't stop it yet. The guest, her computer died. The battery died, but she's going to come back. So don't stop yet. She's coming back. She's coming back. I'm just going to wait for her. She had a computer issue. She's coming back. You back? Okay, good.
do you know, Rita, this never bloody happens. It's so annoying.
We've only got a few minutes left and we're done. My screen's frozen, so there we go. So let's just continue the thought. You were just talking about taking Dante to the park. I'm just going to ask you that question again. What do you do to actually? It's about the relaxation question. So just start about, you get up at 6:30 in the morning. Just start answering that question again.
Okay. So I think it's really important to take time out for well-being, and I think that's probably one of my greatest weaknesses, is that I'm always on the go, and it's not actually a very good thing, because I find when I'm more relaxed and when I also think about my well-being, I think I tend to perform much better. And so what I do is I typically wake up at about 6:30 in the morning, and then I've got a lovely cute little puppy dog, and I take him for a walk from 7 in the morning till 9 o'clock. And it also is quite useful because then I take calls with my headphones with my colleagues in India because of the time zone difference. And it's just so beautiful to start your day in an abundance of greenery. And I do that religiously every day. Even on weekends, I take him for a walk at that time, because also there's not many people around. And there's something about being in nature when there aren't so many people around, and the sort of the morning light, it's just very, it's very beautiful and inspiring. So I start my day off like that, and then obviously then I work. I try very much to meditate, and so I use meditation apps to help me meditate, and it's very difficult because my brain is often racing around. But I find that when I do meditate, I find it just completely transforms me, and I have a much more sort of stronger sense of self, and I'm less reactive, and I'm more sort of strategic and proactive in my responses to people. And so I tend to try and do that, and I also try and eat healthy, because I love junk food. I was pretty much brought up on McDonald's, and so trying to wean myself off that junk food and have healthy food, because I think you are what you eat. If you put rubbish inside your body, it's going to have an impact. And so I try very much to eat, and I'm beginning to move more and more into having less meat as well, because I think that seems to make a difference. It could be an age thing and digestion, I don't know. And then what I try and do is I try and make sure that the people I have around me are people that that basically are empowering. It's very important to watch who you have around you, because sometimes some people can have quite negative energy and they could be naysayers, and maybe you've got this idea or this dream or this wish to do something, and there are so many dreams out there that are shattered because there are people out there that whisper, oh, you can't do that, or you shouldn't possibly do that, or actually think of all the downsides. And actually, you just don't need those sort of people in your life. And of course, it's good to have some constructive criticism, but you don't want to have people that are just heavy and just, sort of draw you down. So what I try and do is I try and not necessarily manage my time, I try and manage my energy. And I also try and really have an understanding of, how do I feel around people? Do I feel good? Do I feel like I can conquer the world? Or do I feel diminished? And I think that's a really key. And I think choose your friends very wisely. Choose your boss, choose your colleagues very wisely. It's not just about competence, and it's also about energy levels. So I think that's really important. And so so my sort of takeaway is get a dog, go for walks in nature. And if you don't have really nice people around you, stop talking to them and talk to the trees instead.
I love that. Really, really well said. Before we let you go, if there are any young girls or women watching today, what message would you give them?
Oh my God. I mean, I'm 43, and I would probably say that it took me up until the age of about 40 to realize my self-worth. And unfortunately, we're brought up in a world where consciously and subconsciously we are given stories and signals that we are not worthy, and sometimes we're not even conscious of it. And it took me so long before I then started realizing that actually, what my value is, and to stop being a people pleaser and stop putting other people's needs, above yours. And that whole kind of, what aunties and uncles say, oh, be a good girl. It's like, no, don't be a good girl, because their version of what good girl is someone who puts their needs right at the bottom below everybody else, and you are as worthy as the next person. So that is my advice to all of you beautiful younger ladies out there. Know your worth. Do not be who they want you to be. Be yourself, and and value yourself.
So well said. Thank you so much, Farzana, for sharing your incredible story with us today. And thank you for our viewers for joining us on this empowerment journey. We want you all to embrace that inner goddess of go-getting. We want you to be bold, be you, be Uma. And that's it. We're done.
Yay! I'm so sorry for all the stupid interruptions, honey. It's never happened to me. It's like my jinx. My iPad's literally just died.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's just one of those things, The sound's a little different on this one, so I think it's Zoom, right? So there's only a limited amount of editing that you can do, but the team are going to try and work on it, and they'll try and do their magic. So let's see how it comes out afterwards. But thanks for doing it. I've always wanted to ask you to do this anyway. This is great. You're so inspirational. Can't wait to see you in just over a week.
We'll see you next week Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah. What do you want to do? I mean, we can take this off.
Shall I ask Susie to join us?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So then what I'll do is let me find out from her timings, and then let's just all hang out somewhere.
Yeah, let's do something.
Sounds
you can
good?
even come over to mine if you want. We can go somewhere. If you want
that'd be lovely.
Come over,
Okay, my darling. I'll see you next week Sunday, okay?
I will. I'll be in touch. Thank you again for doing this.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye, love.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, Lalish. Oh, actually, not yet. 1 second. Lalish, don't end it yet. Don't stop it yet. Don't stop it yet. Keep going, Lalish. I still need it. She's coming back. There's like a tech issue. She's coming back. Don't stop it yet, Lalish. Can see coming back, Farzana. Okay, streaming is still there.